Welcome to episode 109 of the Muck Podcast, a member of the Odd Pods Media Network. Listen in as we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics. I'm Tina Hanamia.
And I'm Hillary Doherty.
Hillary. Here we are in front of the camera.
Yeah. And I did not wash my face last night. I look like a fucking hot mess. And I'm talking to you and I'm like, I go to the bathroom, I go, God damn! It's terrible.
It is not terrible.
Black mascara. Because we had so much fun last night at karaoke. Oh my God.
It was hilarious.
Yes.
It was hilarious.
And I tried to tell you that my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, Tina. Didn't I?
Ooh!
Didn't I try to tell you?
It's true.
And it's true.
It was just boy after boy after boy.
What am I supposed, what? I don't know. I can't even go out in public anymore, to be honest with you. It's very difficult for me to
Oh my
Keep
God.
it together, engineer. Keep it together. Anyway, you did fucking two great songs.
God. I did. So I invited my my younger cousin to come out.
Oh.
And he was like, no. He just sent back a meme that was like, no. And so this morning, he happened to text me, and then he said, hey, because we had gone to karaoke before in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, he goes, oh, did you do Slim Shady while you were blacked out? Like the last time we went to karaoke?
Oh my God.
Hashtag never forget.
Oh my God.
Like,
you did Slim Shady? Shit, Tina.
Apparently.
You...
I don't remember much of it, but
oh my
God.
Please do that again. Please do Slim Shady the next time. You do go towards like a rappy,
I do
rap kind of feel
I don't know.
every time.
I don't know why.
Well,
what is this?
I don't know, but then you do that cute dance where you're like,
Lord.
she kicks up the back.
I
of
do.
her
I'm
feet.
like, what am I? Like, I'm like a 5-year-old.
It's adorable. It's like you're so into it.
Oh my God.
And then to fuck the piece de resistance at the end of Tina's last song, she's screaming about something and she goes, "Fuck you!" And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yes!
Oh my God.
Fucking bowling alley anarchy.
Oh my
it was
God.
the greatest fucking thing I've ever fucking seen.
I don't know what was happening.
Listen, it was a long week, honey. It was a
long
long week.
Well, a lot of bills this week.
Well, we got to talk about this now. Now we got to talk about
sorry, but that's
real
what's
stuff.
That's what's stressing us out.
Yeah. Well, how about this? How about the second committee for the 15-week abortion ban? People are testifying, saying, "Please don't take my fucking rights away from my body," and they're like, "You know what?
We don't have
We
time
don't
to
really
listen
want
to
to
you.
hear your comments. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
No public comments. No public comments.
We're in a
passing,
police state.
Yeah,
We're
they're
in a
passing
police
laws
state.
without public input about our rights.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
It's
Is anybody paying? Here's my question. From the outside, if you're not in Florida and you're on the outside, is there anybody who can help us? Is there anybody who could come and be like, this is all illegal.
Okay.
This is not it's violating sunshine laws.
Right.
Like, this is illegal to do this.
well. Also, I had this conversation with my husband the other day, and we've talked about it before. But you know, again, we have the first female vice president. And she and Trump had the stage for 4 years of constant media coverage of fake news and all of this stuff all of the time. Like anything that he was upset about, it's blasted on the news and his face and his awful voice blasted everywhere.
Voice.
But where are our leaders coming out and blasting people all over the place? Why aren't they doing that? It's radio silence from this VP. Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand she puts, messages out.
Yeah.
But I want to hear her voice saying, Florida is in danger. Texas is in danger. Alabama is in danger. We need to help these states. Like, where is she?
It's like...
Why isn't she rallying us together?
Eerie. It's fucking eerie how quiet
She's
she
quiet.
is. It's fucking weird.
There's
It's like,
something-
yeah, is she sidelined for some reason? What the fuck is going on?
The only thing that happened was that border issue way back in
but
her...
they threw her the shit pile of the fucking problems
and then
2 days into office.
And then they hid her away since then, it feels like.
But maybe it's her. Maybe she's like, I'm not getting involved in...
But why? Like,
I
this
don't
isn't
know.
going to win her an election if she thinks she's going to run. And if she runs, we are going to lose. I hate to say it.
The first time I've seen her since the inauguration was Build Back Better celebration, the January 6th like insurrection thing. I think she gave a speech about that, and or she was there, and she was trying to sound like tough. Like that's what I loved about Kamala, was that she was just very much like fucking ballsy, and I love that. But she does it now, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, we haven't seen or heard from you.
It's
but
weird.
With reproductive rights, where are you?
No, I know.
Like, why can't she be our champion right now?
I don't know.
I don't know. It just feels like all these states are doing this, and I get it. It's on a state level, but that's where the federal level can come in, and these leaders can start saying like everyone, so that it is on a national stage. When you say, "Does anyone know what's happening in Florida?" They should be telling everybody what's happening in Florida.
Yeah.
God
and
dang.
it's the worst part is that it's utterly hopeless. Like there's nothing. You know what? The last session and the one before, we talked about it the last episode, but they passed all these awful bills, and then they're immediately challenged in court, right? The second that he signs it, they're challenged in court by the ACLU or whoever, NAACP, and they get thrown out.
Yeah.
And then they appeal it, goes all the way to the Florida Supreme Court, where it's all handpicked with his judges.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
And then what?
But they're doing work that is going to be sitting in the courts for years. And it'll either be thrown up or it'll be upheld. But either way, they could be doing things that are not controversial and just fucking helping people.
Helping our state. Yeah.
That's what they could be doing.
But they don't care about that. Everything is just about their agenda. It's so disgusting.
Well, P.S.
It's so disgusting.
I shared it on the Muck's Twitter, Muck Podcast on Twitter. Representative Raymond Alexander gave this 8-minute, I guess they call it,
testimony.
Yeah, his testimony at the committee for the critical race theory. It is so fucking incredible, Tina. Like, if you haven't seen it, you have to go to our Twitter and find it. I immediately sent Tina a message. I'm like, we need to have him on the podcast, like, right now. He said things in there that we've heard before, and I want to keep reminding people of this. Is that all these people who are working in Tallahassee the Democrats are friends with the Republicans.
Right.
Like, on a surface level, they're all friends. Yes. They're friendly.
Yeah.
And the Republicans actually say to the Democrats, like,
this is messed up.
This is fucked up. Yeah. I don't really support this. I don't like this bill. Like critical race theory. Last year it was the banning trans children from playing sports. They don't like, these are human beings who are like, I really don't like this. But when push comes to shove, they fucking vote for it because they know they'll be primary. Right. And he says that in this video. We've heard it from State Senator Chevron Jones. We've heard it from Rep. Bobby DuBose. We've heard it from Rep. Robin Bartleman. Yeah. And now he says it in his testimony. Like, he looks across and he says, there's some good people over here. And I know y'all aren't okay with this. So, like, where is the courage even from a Republican who can stand up and say, this is not what we should be focusing on. We don't need to do this. And the message you're sending isn't even a good message. It's like you're not even doing good work. It's evil fucking shit.
It's bad.
You know?
I don't know, like, why they care so much. Because if their role is to be a public servant. Yeah. If you get primaried, you get primaried. You're not supposed to be in this job forever. And who cares? If
you get primaried for standing up and saying this is all shitty legislation,
people will support
you're a hero.
Actually.
So what? You're not elected. Big fucking deal. Like, who cares? But at least you went out on a good fucking note. And history, you don't look like a complete prick. Right. Because Chip LaMarca and his votes, he looks like a complete fucking clown. Yeah. He looks like a clown. And I don't understand how people in this fucking area still support this motherfucker.
The thing is, though, what if he doesn't get primaried? What if these people don't get primaried? You know, like, they take the chance and see what happens, because that could be the thing that turns the tide away from this small margin that is controlling everything within that party back to something else. Yeah,
and apparently 30 years ago, that's how the Florida Senate was. The Florida Senate did not give a fuck who the governor was. It was Republican or Democrat. They would always say it would stop there. Yeah. Always.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Well, we got to get Nikki Fried in there.
Oh my God.
Get fried. I'm telling you, college students, if you're listening, get fried with Fried. Yeah. Get fried with Fried, and that's the message. You'll get high because she'll pass that bill, and we need the young votes. High.
Young votes. I'm voting for this. Let's go.
I mean, she's doing many other amazing things, but we got to get the young people out, and I feel like they would get out with Get Fried with Fried. Yeah. Okay.
Don't look at my screen because I want to. I know I had something else I wanted to mention, but I don't want you to see my story.
Okay. I'm looking everywhere else.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna have a Supreme Court pick.
Yes,
from Joe Biden, from President Biden. And so I was wondering, I mean, do you think it's gonna go smoothly? I mean, he wants to do it within the next 30 days.
No.
He's promised
Mitch McConnell
a black woman.
Mitch McConnell already said that he's going to block everything.
Right, so that's my question. Is this possible? Can he do? But we have the majority,
we
so
do.
I don't see this could go.
Unless we have the two people.
Those two,
Manchin and
yeah.
I always
Now,
want to say
don't you think this is like
cinnamon.
don't you think this is the test for them? I mean, it's
Oh
one thing
no!
to like push back on the
if they don't
legislation,
vote
but
for
this is like
they're stripped of being Democrats. You don't get to be a Democrat.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you can do that to a person, but they should just fuck it. Throw an R by your name.
Yeah.
You're not giving us the votes anyway. You don't get to sit with us.
Yes.
Go away.
Yes. And he's promised a black woman. He's going to nominate a black woman.
Yeah.
So I am so fucking stoked about this.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
But and I love that they were coming out with like you have to have 60-something votes in order to confirm a Supreme Court, and then they went back to all the Republican ones that were all under because they steamrolled them in. It's like somehow they forget. Well, they don't forget, but everything.
They think we're gonna forget.
Yeah, it's all revisionist history.
Yeah,
over and over and over. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's Orwellian. God damn it.
That's a book, right? Is that a writer?
A writer,
okay.
1984.
Oh, are you
that
ready?
Is so
are we? Is that good?
Yes. I'm ready. Okay.
Today, I'm going to be covering U.S. Senator Strom Thurmond.
Here we go.
I've been threatening this for a long time.
My God. Oh, this
okay.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
my
listen.
God.
I gotta tell
Just
you,
his name is so
there's
gross.
too much to go into. There's too much.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna focus on the civil rights things and also the sexual harassment. And he's there's a lot of things going on here with this guy sexually, and I thought it was very interesting. So that's what I'm going to talk about.
Oh.
You can go look up anything you want about Strom Thurmond. Go on. I mean,
Yes.
what the fuck? Don't come over here and say, well, you need
We're giving.
this. I don't give a fuck.
We're giving the juicy
doing what
bits.
I
We're
wanna
giving
do.
the juicy bits. Okay.
So
the juicy
I gotta tell you,
bits.
I'm woozy. I'm sitting here like this. Oh my God.
We're trying to survive.
I think I had 4 drinks, but it's possible that I had 5. And our engineer was like, but you were drinking water when I got there. And I was like, that wasn't water. That was not water. All right, Strom. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. James Strom Thurmond was born on December 5th, 1902.
Jesus.
In Edgefield, South Carolina. His father served as a county supervisor, representative to South Carolina General Assembly, and a solicitor. In 1902, he unsuccessfully contested the election for United States Congress. His mother was from a well-known family, so they're very wealthy in South Carolina. They lived in this humongous house, had horses and bulls and all this shit.
I wonder what their family was involved in South Carolina to provide for that land.
Yeah. And the home was frequented by politicians and lawyers, so they're big, muckety-mucks over there. And Strom attended Clemson Agricultural College in South Carolina, which is now Clemson University, in 1923. He graduated with a degree in horticulture.
Oh.
At Clemson, he served as the president of the Calhoun Literary Society, which Calhoun sounds like that's a slave owner, bitch. There's some name, that's gotta be something.
I mean, I like the literary society part.
Yeah. And he debated parliamentary procedure. Oy vey.
God. He's one of those. You didn't make a motion.
Yeah.
You need to do blah, blah, blah. Like, those people.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God.
Call to order.
Yeah. Can I get a vote? Can I get a motion? Oh, you can get a motion, all right.
You didn't provide discussion. You didn't give us time to have discussion. You can't vote yet.
According to the bylaws. That's the name of this episode. Okay. So after his graduation, he worked as a farmer, a teacher, and an athletic coach. In 1929, he was appointed as Edgefield County Superintendent of Education.
Okay.
While serving as a superintendent, he began studying law under his father's guidance. In 1930, Thurmond was admitted to the South Carolina bar, and he was appointed as the Edgefield Town and County Attorney, serving from 1930 to 1938.
Oh, so he did, I didn't go to law school, but did, you can apprentice under a lawyer and then just pass the bar.
Yes.
Must be nice.
Yes. So he supported Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1932 for the presidential election, and he favored Roosevelt's argument that the federal government could be used to assist citizens in the daily plights brought on by the Great Depression. In 1933, he was elected to the South Carolina Senate, serving there until 1938, when he was elected to the state circuit judge. Okay,
that's a lot of seats.
He's been doing.
Yeah,
he does
a
the
lot of
most.
work, yeah.
He does the most. He's very accomplished. Huge racist, but very accomplished person. In 1942, at age 39, after the U.S. formally entered World War II, Judge Thurman resigned from the bench to serve in the U.S. Army, rising to the level of or the rank of lieutenant colonel. In the Battle of Normandy in 1944, he landed in a glider attached to the 82nd Airborne Division. So he's 39, by the way, which is considered old at that point, right?
Yeah.
It's not now.
And that battle is known as, being really horrific.
Yeah.
One of the worst ones of the war.
I love this next part because you know how we talk about the names about all this stuff.
Yes.
So he received 18 medals for his service.
What?
And here's some of the names.
Oh, God.
Legion of Merit with Oak Leaf Cluster.
Okay.
Bronze Star with Valor Device. Purple Heart. World War II Victory Medal. European African Middle Eastern Campaign Medal. Belgium's Order of the Crown. And France's Croix de Guerre.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you believe this?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So too much. We shouldn't be fighting wars, people.
Yeah. Do we still give participation medals to people who go to the war? Jesus. Okay, so he ran as a Democrat or a Dixiecrat.
Yeah.
In a virtually one-party state, Thurman was elected governor of South Carolina in 1946, largely on the promise of making state government more transparent and accountable by weakening the power of a group of politicians who were running that state. So many voters considered Thurman a progressive for much of his term. That's not progressive like we know progressive.
Okay.
In large part due to his influence in gaining the arrest of the perpetrators of the lynching of Willie Earl, which was a black man who was killed there. So he went after
the people that did that.
Yes.
Okay.
Though none of the men were found guilty by an all-white jury. In the case where the defense called no witnesses, Thurman was congratulated by the NAACP and the ACLU for his efforts to bring the murderers to justice.
Okay.
Now, don't give him any congratulations because it's about to get fucking bad.
Oh no. So does he just flip, or is he's always
I think this case was like a one-off, to be honest with you, because he's really just.
I wonder what compelled him to do it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe because he was a young kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he runs for president of the United States as a third-party candidate in 1948, but was unsuccessful because his campaign was about protecting South Carolina from integration.
Oh, God.
This is a quote from one of his campaign speeches. It's fucking insane. It's insane. And I wish that I could tell you that 20 years from 1948 that he's gets on the right side of history, but he fucking doesn't. I mean, for 20 years, this man has been elected over and over again. He's a fucking flat out racist. Just insane.
What is going on in South Carolina?
Listen.
It's just.
Why does 1948 not seem that long ago to me? It really doesn't.
Because we're from the late 1900s.
Oh, that's right.
And that was the mid 1900s.
Oh,
that's the problem.
Okay, so here's the quote. Are you ready? I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that there's not enough troops in the army to force the Southern people to break down segregation and omit the N-word, race, into our theaters, into our swimming pools, into our homes, and into our churches, end quote.
And he gets elected.
Yes.
Oh, God, it's so disgusting.
So, no. So that's when he's running for president.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
but he's already holding office.
Yes.
Okay.
So after he loses that, he runs for the U.S. Senate in 1950, and he loses that race. But he runs again in 1954, and he's the first person who's ever, and I think maybe only, to be elected as a write-in candidate. So the Democrat who was on the ticket dies.
Oh.
And so he tells everybody, write my name in next to this person's name. And they did, and he got fucking elected.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
and then
my God.
He runs and he's like, listen, I promise if I get elected, I will resign. I will, you know what I mean? I will run in the next election, general election, as a regular candidate. And he does, and he wins, goes on.
Well, now they know his name.
Yes. So, everybody knew his name. And he was the fucking governor at that point, right? So he goes on to get reelected 8 consecutive terms and serves in the U.S. Senate for 48
This is a problem.
years.
This is a problem.
48 years.
This is a problem. It should just be 3 terms, 2 terms, 3 terms, and that's it. I don't understand with every other office.
Yeah.
It's term limited. These Senate seats have to be term limited.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to make a career out of this. That's not what this position is for.
Oh, I gotta tell you, I watched this video on YouTube.
49
it's in our notes.
years.
I know.
Jesus.
It's in our notes, but it's this the South Carolina Hall of Fame. I don't know, some organization, South Carolina. They what is that called? Inducted him and in the Hall of Fame, and they have this like video you can watch of all of his accomplishments, and the music's like dee 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 dee, right? And he's sitting there at the fucking podium going, "No N-words in our pools," and the music's like dee dee dee, and I'm like,
Jesus.
"You've inducted this motherfucker in your Hall of Fame?" It talks about nothing. Like it literally says like he was against segregation or integration. I mean, it's crazy.
Who inducted him?
It's some South Carolina Hall of Fame. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's a state
they need to get
or-
rid of. They need to repeal that.
Oh,
they need to.
there's a lot of things that need to be repealed with this guy. I mean,
Oh
it's
my
crazy.
God.
It's crazy.
South Carolina, get it together.
Yeah.
It's 2022.
Yeah. So in 1964, he changes from the Democratic Party to Republican, and it has a lot to do with Kennedy and like all
Civil
of these
rights
other,
movement.
yeah,
and
civil
all
rights
of
movement, all of that, and he was supporting the Republican candidate for president, and the Democrats were fucking furious because he had a loud voice, you know. And so they said that when, of course, Kennedy wins, and so they were saying they were going to throw him out of the party. Of course, they didn't, which I thought was so funny because Democrats still today don't have any fucking balls. Throw them out! Why are they still there?
Why are they there?
There's gotta be like a basement in that fucking building where they can take them down there and start taking toenails off. Do you know what I'm saying? Until they fucking vote the right way. Why are we running the party that way? Medieval is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Get medieval on their asses. Oh, you don't like this Build Back Better? Take a finger. Take a finger off.
With the
They're
pliers.
both walking around with like a band-aid on their hand, like walking around
with
the fucking...
with the pliers.
Yeah. You only need one finger to
my
vote,
God.
bitch. Just go like this. I'll take all the rest of those fingers.
You
motherfuckers.
You can vote with the knuckle too.
Yeah,
so,
you're fucking killing me. You're
Oh
fucking
my
killing me.
God. It's
Okay.
but I mean, think about it. Someone can be born and their entire life it's the same senator representing them their whole life.
Yes.
That's not right.
It's not.
You know, because things change. Like just
Right. And he's never. Now, here's the other thing. I don't know. Do you remember Trent Lott, the Senator Trent Lott?
yeah.
90s, big head, looks like he looks like an undead Frankenstein. I don't
Oh
know
my
how else to
God.
fucking explain this guy. He would go around and he would tell everybody that Strom Thurmond wasn't a racist anymore. He was not a segregationist anymore. Like was trying to do this spin in the 90s, and I was like,
how
bitch.
did that happen? He just woke up and changed one day.
I don't know.
Give me a break.
And
He has to demonstrate that
I'd also
change.
like to see
and
the
he has
reason-
to apologize for what he did in
Thank
the past
you.
and make amends for
Thank
it.
you.
Otherwise, no, you're
Yes.
still the same jerk.
The other thing I want to tell you is the reason that I did this story is because, I've been wanting to do Strom Thurmond, but then Joe Biden mentioned him in a press conference this week, which was hilarious because, they were very good friends. Very good friends. And he spoke at his memorial. He spoke at his funeral.
Oh.
And he said something. They're like, why can't you get this passed? Or why can't you do the voting rights passed? I don't know. Somebody in the press asked him a question about it. And he goes, I'm going to make sure everybody votes for it. And they're like, how are you going to do that? And he goes, I got Strom Thurmond to vote for the civil rights or the Voting Rights Act back like whatever 30 years ago or whatever. And I saw this whole TikTok on Instagram because I'm not on fucking TikTok. And the lady was like, can somebody tell Joe that this isn't the same fucking group of Republicans that he worked with 40 fucking years ago?
Yes.
We've got a whole new crop of fucking morons.
Oh, God.
Please, this isn't Strom Thurmond. Okay? This is
why-
fucking Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is
He can't.
Matt Gates.
He
and
can't go toe for toe with these people. Like,
no. We got fucking
we got
lunatics in the house.
I mean, I'm happy that Joe Biden was elected because of the alternative. But we screamed about it the entire last election, presidential election cycle. We need a progressive voice, and that's it. The end. Full stop.
Yeah.
And they need to be as ballsy
That's
as
right.
these
Medieval.
Republicans.
There's got to be room for a medieval progressive person. Someone who's like peace, love, environment. Ooh, yeah, protect
and the Iron Maiden.
But they also got like that. They're also like this, where they're like, you know, you're like about to punch you, you know, like what's it called,
scrappy.
juke somebody.
Ooh.
That's the kind of fucking progressive I want. Get Bernie Sanders to put up one of those, like the girl from what's that movie? Kill Bill. The girl with the chain and that ball on it. I want to see fucking Bernie Sanders like going like this on the Senate floor. Like, I'm going to hit you motherfuckers if you don't vote the right way.
I love Bernie, but Bernie's got to retire too.
Oh.
Make way for some young people.
That's
gotta
right,
cap
engineer.
it.
That's right.
We got to cap these,
Okay.
we got to cap, we got to do term limits, and we got to put an age cap. You have to be a certain age to go in.
Yeah.
There should be a certain age where it's like, I mean, 80 years old, go in your garden. Go relax, have a cup of coffee.
How many times have we
go
had
play
this
some
conversation about we need to have we need to talk to Democrats? She's got it all every night. That's a good clip for you to cut out.
That is so cute.
Put on everywhere. Bronny.
Oh my god. What are we doing?
Oh shit! All right, sorry. Okay, please, can we get through this racist piece of shit?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so while he gets when he gets elected, he's fighting for segregation, right? He's in the so that's like his focus as he gets into office. So he co-writes the first version of the Southern Manifesto, this fucking piece of shit. And he states this disagreement with the 1954 U.S. Supreme Court ruling in Brown versus Board of Education that desegregated public schools. And in 1957, the Eisenhower administration introduced an amended version of the Civil Rights Bill imposing expansion of federal supervision of integration in southern states. In an unsuccessful attempt to prevent the bill's passage, Thurman, he filibustered this bill, speaking for a total of 24 hours and 18 minutes.
Oh my god.
The longest ever conducted by a single senator.
Oh my god.
Against civil rights.
I mean,
still holds the record.
24
Can you believe? And the filibuster, again,
this
has been used to protect racist shit all the fucking time. So, during his filibuster, Thurman relied on the book, which was called The Case for the South, written by W.D. Workman Jr.
Oh.
Thurman had known the author for 15 years, as Workman had covered both Thurman's tenure as South Carolina governor and his presidential campaign, in addition to having served in the military unit with Thurman.
Okay, so they're buddies.
Yeah.
Lifelong buddies.
Yeah. So The Case for the South, described in 2013 by Loyola history professor and author Elizabeth Shermer as, quote, a compendium of segregationist arguments that hit all the high points of regional apologia. Right? So this is what he read from on the floor.
Great.
Yeah. And Thurman sent it to everybody in the Senate, all his colleagues, and the vice president at the time, Richard Nixon.
And they just...
Yeah, he sent this fucking racist-ass book.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah. Other Southern senators who had agreed as part of a compromise not to filibuster this bill were upset that Thurman because they thought his defiance made them look incompetent to their constituents, right? They said, no, we're not going to do that.
Well, and here they go.
Yeah, so despite his efforts, the Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1957 on August 29th. And in January 1959, the Senate held a debate over changing the rules to curb filibusters. Thurman expressed the view that the Senate returned to the rule prior to 1917, when there were no regulations on the time for the debate. Okay.
Which is why we're so screwed today.
Yeah.
Get rid of the filibuster.
Oh, God.
God damn it.
Damn it.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen, like, the British Parliament? Like
they yell at each other?
They yell at each other. I feel like we need some of that.
Yes.
I feel like we need people just to yell at each other, call each other names, and just get it out there.
Yeah. Well, like what I was saying about Raymond Alexander, he should look over and go, oh, Representative so-and-so, Representative so-and-so.
You're a piece of trash.
And you both fucking told me in the hallway that you hate this fucking bill and the governor's out of his fucking mind.
Yes.
But you're going to vote for it, right? Like, it's bullshit.
That's what we need.
But call these motherfuckers out.
We need to do it.
Well, I told our executive producer Alfredo this, and Alfredo said that if a Democrat were to do that, their time in Tallahassee would be much worse. And I said,
Oh, well,
but the
it's
being
bad
polite,
now.
but being polite isn't fucking working either.
No.
So why don't we try it? Let's embarrass these fucking pussies. You
Ooh,
fucking pussies.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Woo.
You're taking my fucking rights away because you don't want to get primaried. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You motherfuckers.
Yes.
Fuck you. This is my fucking life too. This is where I live. This is my home.
Yes.
And you won't listen to public comments?
It's the future of the state.
Okay.
It's the future of the state.
You can't shut people up. You can't fucking gag people, put a fucking gag on someone's mouth.
I mean, they arrest people. They arrested that activist because he wanted to just have 5 minutes to
those
speak.
charges were dropped, by the way.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Well, it's a threat. It's a warning. It's a warning. And other people who don't want to stand up will see that and go, well, I don't want to get arrested, so I'm not going to fucking go.
Or I don't have the money to be bailed out.
Yeah.
Or, oh my God, I could lose my job. So it's all of these things that are going to continue to prevent people from using their First Amendment rights.
Right.
God damn it.
Okay, so let's get into...
Every week we're like, God damn it, God damn it, God damn it. It never ends. This podcast will be here for a while, folks.
Yeah.
Get used to us. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry.
So I'm not going to get into he served 8 terms. It's 48 years of horrible nonsense.
Can you imagine 48 years?
Yeah. So let's get into the weird stuff, the shit he was up to.
Ooh.
So there was, of course, sexual harassment allegations. He's old school, bitch. You walk by, he's gonna pinch that ass. He's gonna grab that titty. He's gonna do everything he wants to do.
He's like squeezing shoulders.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, Strom, no, get your hands off of me, you fucking creep. You know what he looks like? Did you ever see, and I know you have because your husband loves this movie, Big Trouble in Little China?
Yes.
You know when the guy is like the little old lady, and he's not like, no, what is this? That's who fucking Strom Thurmond is. He's like the guy with the fucking weird fucking, and he's like this, he's in the elevator trying to grab that tit. Like, he's fucking creepy as fuck. He's like, them green eyes. You got them green eyes, bitch. No, I don't want you to touch me though. Strom, yeah, I don't want that. Let me see that titty. No! Strom.
Oh my God.
She's on fire today. She's still kicking like it's
Maybe we need to go out to karaoke every week before the podcast.
Could you imagine? Hillary, we gotta go. Oh, Tina, I'm so tired today. No, we gotta record tomorrow. You gotta be on your game.
Woo.
I don't know if I should be offended by that or not.
That's amazing.
Okay, let's get into this creep. So, according to NBC News in 2017, it was widely acknowledged around Congress that Thurmond inappropriately touched women throughout his career. Thurmond's colleague, Senator Patty Murray, stated that in early 1994, Thurmond, then 91, because them dicks never fucking stopped working.
My God.
He tried to fondle her breast in an elevator.
At 91 years old? Jesus, slow down.
Get them titties.
Maybe that should be a sticker that we sell on our merch site. Josh, we need a rendition.
Josh,
Trouble in Little China.
Draw me like this, going like
Woo!
I think I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm not even fucking kidding. I peed my pants last fucking night. No, laughing so fucking hard. I forgot what it was, but I die laughing so fucking hard. Okay. Yeah, 91. Could you imagine? Like at 91, I'm just gonna be like, just let me lay here all day. I just want to fucking lay down. I mean, he's like trying to get fucking some action going. It's incredible.
Which is okay. Great. Leave people alone. Go get yourself a girlfriend and get out of the Senate.
No, you can't.
Get out of the Senate. What are you doing in the Senate in 91?
Oh my God.
Honestly, can you imagine?
Yeah. No, I can't imagine. Okay, so the alleged incident prompted a statement from Thurmond's office saying that he had not engaged in he was still serving, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
He had not engaged in any inappropriate behavior, and that he was showing gentlemanly courtesy by assisting Murray into the elevator.
Oh. Wow.
By her tit.
Wow, let me lead the way.
Yeah, not her arm or like her, gently. No. He
First of all,
let me help you with your tit.
yeah.
Like, let me help you balance.
Why do women need your help to get into an elevator to begin with?
He's an old Southern
Oh,
gentleman.
God.
You see, he likes to help
So
the
gross.
ladies.
No, he doesn't.
Do you need a hand? Let me hold your tit and help you into the elevator. That's how he talked too. It was very much like this.
I can't. I can't. I can't.
Oh, God, I just hear like slave owner when I hear that voice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a gentleman. Help
No.
you into
Ooh,
the
you're
elevator.
scaring me.
All right, so female Senate staffers from the late 1980s and early 1990s recalled that Thurman was on an informal list of male senators who were known for harassing women regularly, such like being alone in the elevators with him. You know, we've talked about this before. That female staffers or interns are always told stay away from X, Y, Z because if you're alone with them, they're gonna put their hand up your skirt. They're going to grab your titty.
Right. But instead of saying that guy has to be expelled.
Instead of saying strong, keep your fucking hands to yourself.
No, not even keep your hands. You did it once, you're expelled.
Get out.
Why do these women that have to navigate and go, oh, I can't go here, I can't go there, because he's a jerk-off pig?
P.S. That's our entire lives.
Get rid of that. Yeah, it is.
Just from being alive and being a woman, we have to navigate that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And
is this alley a rape alley or is it a regular alley?
Right. And we've talked about this before, like that at least in my experience, at every single job, save for my current one, at every single place of employment that I have had, I have had encounters with male colleagues that are completely inappropriate. I've been touched. I've had things said to me, and it never stops from when I was 14 years old.
Yeah. From
when I was 14 years old onward.
You were pulled over by a police officer who fucking harassed you. Like that.
Yes.
We're not safe from anyone.
Yes.
No one.
So it's
God, what is
it's not
that?
fair.
But what is
it's
that?
Not fair.
Because I'm sure there's women who harass. I mean, I get a little harassy when I get drunk, right? I probably say a couple of things I shouldn't say. But overall, it's men. What is it at 91 that he's still interested in a little bit of strange? Like, what is that? What is it?
Well, it's power, too. It's having power and control over something else.
Yeah. Political reporter Cokie Roberts said in 2017 that Thurman kissed her on the mouth while she was live on the air at a political convention.
Ew!
2000, yeah.
Ugh.
Roberts
Wait,
stated
so he's like in his 80s?
90s, right? Roberts, no, she said this in 2017, so I think it happened in the 90s.
Okay.
Roberts stated that Thurman was, quote, was in the category of his own, end quote, when it came to politicians and sexual harassment. Okay.
How was he been there for 49 years?
I don't know. And all this came out after he died,
I don't understand how there are no laws in place that prevent this stuff from happening. If it can't happen at work, why is it happening in Congress?
But it's also Time's Up.
Right, and Me Too.
Where things, Me Too and all that thing, when things start, Time's Up. I meant Me Too.
Yeah.
Fucking Time's Up.
Same thing.
It was before all of that, where people, weren't taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had 2 marriages, and I find both of these completely unusual and strange.
Ooh.
And I think go into his like kinky what he's about, right?
Strong. What's going on?
So he was 44 when he married his first wife, Jean Crouch, in the South Carolina governor's mansion on November 7th, 1947. And in April 1947, when Crouch was a senior this is how they met. When she was a senior at Winthrop College, Thurman was a judge in a beauty contest in which she was selected as Miss South Carolina.
Oh, God.
And in June, upon her college graduation, he hires her as his personal secretary.
Oh. So she was coerced into this marriage. I'm just a legend.
He's 44, she's 22. All right? On September 13th, 1947, Thurman proposed marriage by calling Crouch to his office to take a dictated letter, and the letter was to her and contained his proposal of marriage.
I guess that's...
I want you to come into my office.
Yes.
I got a letter. I need you to dictate.
Will you marry me?
Ever since I saw you at 22 years old, you won Miss South Carolina.
How hilarious is that? Like, come work for me. You're in this beauty contest.
Yeah. Well... So 13 years later, in 1960, Crouch, unfortunately, she dies of a brain tumor at age 33, and they had no children.
Oh, that's sad.
So he marries his second wife, Nancy Janice Moore, on December 22nd, 1968. He was 66.
Uh-huh.
She was 22.
Oh, no.
That's
So,
around the age he likes it, honey. That's
but,
how he likes it.
I mean,
22.
but
He's
is she-
60 fucking
okay,
6.
but is she like, I'm 22. He's got a
gonna
lot
die
of
soon.
money. He's going to die soon. I'm going to get a bunch of money. It'll
Yeah.
be great. Meanwhile, he lives to 90-something.
P.S.
And she's like, God damn it. All the good years of my life are gone.
Well,
And maybe, unless she's maybe on the side, doing her own thing.
I think that kind of is what happened. So,
Okay.
she also won Miss South Carolina.
So what? He just goes to he goes to judge these shows to find wives?
Yeah, no, it's basically like a dating,
Oh.
app for him.
Yeah.
He's like, swipe to the left, bitch.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Swipe to the left. Is that how it goes? Swipe to the left?
I don't know. It's
either.
it's
Come on,
right,
Ariana.
left. You swipe
Honey,
somewhere.
I'm too old for these apps. I can't get on TikTok. I'm not getting on a dating app.
Yeah, no.
You know? I just go to karaoke. And I just stand there
Woo!
like
That's
this.
true, and they all come.
Yeah. Who's going to talk to me
moths to the flame.
My milkshake feel Oh, this camera's gonna die. We need to
Okay.
keep
Oh
going.
yeah, we gotta
Okay.
keep going. Oh my
So
god.
2 years later, he hired her to work in his Senate office after she wins that Miss South Carolina, right? And although Nancy did not particularly enjoy politics, she nevertheless became a popular figure on Capitol Hill. At age 68 in 1971, Thurman fathered the first of 4 children with Nancy,
Oh.
who was then 25.
Oh god,
This
poor woman.
68-year-old's climbing on top of this young girl.
Humping,
baby.
Maybe. Look, to each his own.
I mean, he's got something going on.
Wow.
There's no BDE there, though, at all. There's
Well,
none.
I mean, to get a 22-year-old, maybe there's a little bit.
No.
No, okay.
Okay, I was going to tell you about his kid. His last child was born in 1976, who's like, that's not far from, he would have been, late into his 60s still. Okay, so Nancy and the kids stayed in South Carolina, and she would commute back and forth to go to DC. So he's in DC,
Yeah.
pulling titty in the elevator, and
Oh my
she's like
God.
back and forth. So they separated in March 1991 after Nancy claimed that they no longer had a real marriage, stating that, quote, "At this point in my life, I would like to be able to pursue several career options and some measures of independence," end quote.
Good for her.
She returned to South Carolina, where, of course, her children were, and she casually dated other men during the early stages of their separation, but neither of them ever filed for divorce, and they remained very close. So,
Okay, well
I don't know.
maybe she's like, look,
Yeah.
I'll stick around, I'll help you out, but
Yeah.
I need some space.
Yeah. Okay, so he dies, of course, eventually here, of heart failure in his sleep on June 26, 2003 at a hospital in South Carolina. He was 100 years old.
Wow.
After lying and stayed in the
Jesus.
rotunda of the State House in Columbia, his body was carried on a caisson, I don't know what that is, to the First Baptist Church for services at which then Senator Joe Biden of Delaware delivered a eulogy, and later to the family burial plot in Willowbrook Cemetery in Edgefield, where he was interned. At the time of his death, he was the longest serving, the earliest serving living former governor of the
Wow.
country.
I mean, he's 100 years old.
Yeah.
How long did he serve until, because you said he was 91.
He died 6 months after he retired. He was
He was 99 years old.
He was 100 years old.
He was actually
when he
100.
retired from the Senate. He was the oldest serving ever. He's the oldest serving, only person I think that got to 100 serving.
Okay, no.
And it's 6 months after he retired from the Senate, to full applause on the floor, he died 6 months later.
Yeah, no. I mean, no.
Yeah.
This is too much. It's too long, and he's
Yeah.
too old. 100 years old.
Fish. So here's the end to all of this. So after he dies,
All this stuff comes
this
out.
woman comes out.
Ooh.
And she's like, yo, 6 months after he dies, Essie Mae Washington Williams publicly reveals that she's Strom Thurmond's daughter.
Woo!
She was born October 12th, 1925, to Carrie Butler, who had worked for Thurman's parents when she was like 15 or 16. And they had an affair together, they were together. I don't know if they were I don't want to say boyfriend and girlfriend.
Well,
he was
15,
22.
16.
He was 22. She was 15, 16.
Yeah, I mean, back then they
She's
would...
a black maid. Okay?
Oh.
So-
what the hell is his problem then?
I don't understand.
What is his problem?
I don't know. But this is...
And did he ever see her? Did he keep a
So,
relationship with her?
I'm going to read about it, but I got to tell you.
Ugh.
So I watched a whole thing with... So she comes out and the family acknowledges, yes, this is his daughter. And
What a disgusting person.
Everybody knew. And she, loved him. I think the mother loved him, too. And so
You have blown my mind right now.
Yeah, and so she knew that she had to protect her dad, right? Like she knew, so she kept quiet all those years.
Then
And
why
it
did
was-
you say
and
to him, what are you
painfully-
doing?
Like
Watching
painfully
him-
watched him fight against integration and like didn't say anything because she loved this man, and even though he was so against, right? And though he never called her daughter. He never called when they would go to his office when he was in South Carolina, and they would visit.
was he kind to them?
He gave them money.
Okay, but that's not being kind.
No,
That's like
he never talked to the mother nicely. Never acknowledged the daughter was like said, "Daughter, this is my daughter." Like nothing like that ever.
you know what? He doesn't deserve that kindness.
No.
They should have blown him up.
Yeah,
But I mean, I can imagine at the time the backlash. It could have been very awful for them.
right. That's
go
what
up
I
against
think.
a
That's the
powerful
other
person
thing. I
like
think the
him.
mother was like, I mean, she was 15 or 16 when she
Oh
gave
my
birth
god.
to this daughter. So she was raised by her maternal aunt and uncle, and she was not told that Thurman was her father until she was in high school, and that's when she met him for the first time.
Oh my god.
She later married and took on the name Washington Williams and had a family. She retired as a Los Angeles Unified School District elementary school teacher with a master's degree. And though the Thurman family never publicly acknowledged her as his daughter when he was alive, he helped pay her way through a historically black college in South Carolina and continued to give her financial support well into her adult life.
What?
Yeah. And she did not reveal she was Thurman's daughter during his lifetime because, quote, it wasn't to the advantage of either one of us, end quote, right?
Because
Like-
she wants. I mean, she now could go to school, and I get it. That is just beyond wild.
But she was in her 80s when he died. She was 87. And when she first was able to
Oh
publicly
my
acknowledge
God.
this thing, that he's her dad, and she said she wrote a whole book about it, and she said in the book that it's the first time she actually felt like she was being herself, like alive, like 87 years old.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a horrible person.
Yeah. She kept
What a
silent.
horrible person.
Yeah. She kept silent out of respect for her father and denied the two had agreed.
Out of
that she would not
respect. I
reveal
mean,
this
look at
connection to
this.
him.
Look at this. Out of respect.
Yeah.
And he got no respect for her because if he did, he would do the right thing or would have done the right thing.
Yeah. After she came forward, the Thurman family attorney acknowledged her parentage, and her name was added to those of his other children on a monument to Thurman installed at the State House grounds. That picture is in our notes. It's incredible. There's a statue of Strom Thurmond outside the State House in South Carolina, and also in the Hall of Fame video, he's standing there when they take the thing off, and I'm like,
He doesn't.
this is a man who fought.
Why does he have a statue?
I don't know. Like this is a Civil War statue as far as I'm concerned. Like
yeah.
take that motherfucker down. Take it down.
Yeah.
Rip his
Go
head
put
off.
it. I mean, go put it on your family land somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your family can memorialize you all they want, but
So it's many.
I mean, I
close-
appreciate that her name is put on there,
yeah,
but he doesn't need a statue.
many close friends and staff members and South Carolina residents had suspected that Washington Williams was Thurman's daughter, as they had noted his interest in her.
Oh God.
The young woman had been granted a degree of access to Thurman more typically of a family member than to the member of the public, and later she said later she intended to join the Daughters of the American Revolution and did apply to join the United Daughters of the Confederacy, as she was eligible through Thurman's ancestry.
Oh my God.
Which is so fucking good. I love it. Yeah. It was,
Wow.
but of course, it was not approved. So she died shortly after coming out also.
No.
Yeah. I mean, 87 is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, but like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
but just like his second wife who was like, well, he'll die soon. She was probably like, anytime he dies, I can finally come out and say this. And it ends up
he's
living
100 years
forever.
old. My
So,
God.
That's Strom Thurmond.
What a story. I'm shocked. I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Or maybe I did,
remember,
or,
I remember when
you
it
know.
came out. Yeah.
There's so many stories that come out. It's hard to keep track of
It's
all
true.
of these
This is true.
people.
Well, I'm ready. I'm excited.
All right. Today,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you the story of former Nashville, Tennessee
Mm.
Mayor Megan Barry.
Ooh.
So in 2016, Megan Barry made history as the first woman mayor of Nashville.
I love Nashville.
But
okay, yes.
when Barry gets a little too close to her security guard, rumors run rampant and reveal more than an affair at play.
I think I know the story. Yes.
Woo!
Because
Yay.
did I go to Nashville in 2016? I don't remember. Before I go on a trip, I'm like, all right, I'm going here. I got to know everything. I start reading. I'm like, what's happening there right now? What's going on?
Oh, well, this was a big story there.
I think it was 2016, maybe.
Well,
maybe
maybe
it was my sister's 40th, and she would have been 2000. Yeah, that would have been 2016.
All right, so our story takes place in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh.
But one thing I want to clear up is that the area is specifically the metropolitan government of Nashville and Davidson County.
Okay.
So they have what's called a metro council.
Okay.
So basically, it's a consolidated city council. So instead of like we have the Broward County Commission and the city of Fort Lauderdale, it would be like those two things are merged as one thing, and they kind of handle both business.
Okay.
So it's something like that, and it's like one jurisdiction, and they can make decisions both on the city and on the county level, and I believe the mayor kind of serves over both.
All right.
So I just wanted to clear that up, because I was like, I kept seeing these two separate things. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, is it Nashville? Is this other thing? Mm-hmm. But that's what it is. So in this case, the Metro Council has 40 members, 35 are district council representatives, and 5 are at-large council members.
Okay.
So here's what I know about Megan Barry, a little bit of her background. So prior to her time in office, she had an interesting role in her former career, which I thought was funny, a little ironic. According to Melissa Wiley of Biz Women Journal, Barry worked in ethics and compliance for a company called Nortel, and later was the ethics and compliance executive for Premier Incorporated. So I just thought it was funny that she has this business degree, like her career is in ethics, so she knows
what's right,
what's wrong, and then she ends up sort of embroiled in this scandal and ends up in this bad situation. So before I dive into all of that, though, I want to talk about what led Barry into politics and all the good things. She did a lot of good things in her short time as mayor. So Katie Crossland did a cover story on Barry for the Nashville Edit, and she explained that Barry's move into politics came from conversations with her girlfriends, and I thought that this was really cool. Barry explained that often on Fridays after work, she and her girlfriends would go out for drinks, and they'd end up talking politics. And I'm like, oh, it's like us!
That's all we ever do!
And then they started asking, like, where are the women? Where are the women? And so from there, they started what was called Women for Tennessee's Future, or WTF, which I kind of like, oh, what the fuck? Where are the women? I don't know if that's what they, meant, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And basically, it's an organization that helps elect progressive women in Tennessee.
Yes,
so I'm like, yes, this is great. So Crossland noted that Barry was, quote, widely celebrated and widely loved. And I feel like that's a hard thing for a politician to earn,
especially if it's a woman.
Especially if it's a woman. And CNN reported that she once had a 70% approval rating, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like, that's a high approval rating.
Yeah.
So Joey Garrison of the Tennessean told CNN that Barry was, quote, one of the highest profile Democrats in Tennessee. She was known for her accessibility and remarkable visibility.
So she's somebody who could have moved up.
Yeah, she had a great reputation. Prior to her win as mayor, she served as an at-large councilwoman beginning in 2007, and she won re-election in 2011, and then she runs for mayor. But during her time as a councilwoman, she advocated for LGBTQ rights, and she put forward an anti-discrimination bill that banned discrimination against city employees based on sexual orientation or gender identity.
Nice.
At the time, the Advocate reported an excerpt from Barry's interview with the Tennessean where she said, quote, I believe that all employees deserve protection, and it's my responsibility as a council member to make sure that happens. So, really trying to move things forward in Tennessee. And, Tennessee is like a mix, the city is blue, but, there's...
Yes, I was going to say Nashville is very progressive, and it's such a fucking cool town. Like, really so many fun, young...
And music.
Hip people.
Oh, my God.
Oh, the food is so good. Damn it. Nashville's so fucking awesome.
Ooh.
Road trip.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
All right, so if we're putting it on our tour, when we finally ever go on tour, we're going to Nashville. That's one of our stops. Woo! All right, so in 2016 as mayor, she started a city volunteer mentorship program with the public schools where volunteers could serve as mentors to students for an hour a week. So if you were a city employee for 1 hour a week, you could be paired up with a student and, have things work that way. And she was also working on this other larger initiative to deal with traffic, but that kind of ends up falling to someone else later on because of what happens. So where things go wrong. Rumors start swirling that Barry may be canoodling with her security guard, this guy, Rob Forrest. And Rob Forrest worked as the head of security detail and would often accompany Barry to various events. Well, he accompanied her in the sheets too, girl!
With that dick! Bish,
So one thing I found funny was that the two of them were caught on camera several times driving to the cemetery in the early morning. And I guess, they thought like maybe the dead can't talk, but the camera sure did, girl, because
she did them jokes. She's laying out them jokes today.
Because they would go in and they're like, here's the cars going in. 12 minutes later, the cars are coming back out. So they would just go there, hook up, and come out.
Oh my gosh.
And Inside Edition reported that Barry said that nothing untoward was happening at the cemetery and that she, quote, finds it to be a peaceful place to start her day.
Oh, she's goth? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
She's goth?
She's goth.
Okay.
She's there with her Doc Martens.
Yeah.
And her black eyeliner.
Yeah, and she's like,
oh,
souls of the undead, help me this morning.
And her Ouija board. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so hard being mayor of Nashville.
It just was so funny. I mean, but 12 minutes later, Forrest.
Yeah. Oh, he's a two-pump chump.
Yeah, like what's going on,
God. I hope, if my friend Leanne is listening to this, one of the cutest boys ever, who will remain nameless, except for this nickname, is that, I don't know who he fucked, but she told everybody he was a two-pump chump, and I was like, God damn. And I never let him say after that. I was like,
oh no.
But he's cute, but.
Oh no.
Oh my poor guy. She knows who I'm talking about, girl. You know what I'm talking about. Holy shit.
I love this.
So funny.
So when the affair went public.
Okay, yes. Sorry.
So did she. She went public as well.
Oh,
and in a January press conference, CNN covered her speech where she said she would not step down as mayor. Quote, I accept full responsibility for the pain I have caused my family and his.
Oh, I didn't know she was married.
They're both married.
Oh, shit.
I am so sorry to my husband, Bruce, who has stood by me in my darkest moments and remains committed to our marriage, just as I am committed to repairing the damage I have done. I also must apologize to the people of Nashville who elected me to serve as your mayor. I knew my actions could cause damage to my office and the ones I loved, but I did it anyway. I must hold myself to the highest standard of which the voters deserve to expect. Please know that I'm disappointed in myself, but also understand that I'm a human and that I made a mistake. And NBC News reported that she said, quote, this is a very bad day, and I'm going to have several more bad days, but this is not my worst day. And I will tell you, I know the difference between a mistake. I made a serious mistake, but this is not a tragedy. Ooh. So that's how she came out with her statement.
I love this.
Yeah, me too. Like, she kind of owned it.
Yeah.
And for the most part, people were okay with this. Like, obviously not all people, because they're like, how can we trust her? Blah, like that kind of thing.
Come on, like she's stealing. It's the affair of the heart.
And she had a 72% approval rating, and the New York Times reported that it slipped down to 61% after she confessed, which is still a really high approval rating.
Trump had like negative 50%.
Yeah. So, it damaged her, but, not so horribly. And then Robert Forrest also came out with a statement as reported by ABC News, because remember, he's head of security detail. He's got this high position and with the police department. And he said, quote, I deeply regret that my professional relationship with Mayor Barry turned into a personal one. This has caused great pain for my wife, my family, friends, and colleagues. At no time did I ever violate my oath as a public officer or engage in actions that would abuse the public trust. So
he was keeping an eye on her, all right.
Ooh.
Hi.
Woo-hoo. So she had an affair, right? So what? I mean, people may judge her. Many a politician before her have had affairs. They've been busted. They've stayed in office.
I mean, Strom's practically, jumping women in
please.
elevators.
And some reports, like Crossland's article in the Nashville Edit, point out that if a male mayor had a similar affair, he would not have been treated in the media as harshly as Barry had. And we saw this too. Like, we saw that when you covered Katie Porter.
Yeah.
Not Katie Porter.
Katie Porter's amazing. You're talking about Katie Hill.
Katie Hill. I'm sorry. Katie Hill. And as mayor, people did point out that she was in a position of authority over her security guard, who is a subordinate to her. And if the genders were reversed, there would have been a whole thing. And this also is coming out at the height of this whole Me Too.
Ah,
So there's all of this.
She got wrapped up in that.
She's getting wrapped up in that, and she doesn't want to sort of take away from that. But the DA, Glenn Funk, started looking into things because, you know, oh, they have this relationship. He's like, let me see, you know, were they canoodling on the time of the city?
Oh,
was
okay.
it during
Right.
the day?
During work.
Right. So he starts investigating. And this is where things kind of go bad. So they both work for the city. News Channel 5 reported that the DA wanted to investigate whether they were on the up and up to make sure they're not using taxpayer money to fund this affair in any way. And his hunch ends up being right.
Listen,
so
hold on. The vagina doesn't know punching in from 8 to 5. Like, sometimes, Tina.
I know, but so it was found that from March 2016 to January 2018, Barry took about $60,000 from the city to pay her lover in overtime.
What?
Yes.
Okay,
so
now we got a problem.
That's what I'm
not
saying.
Good, not good.
So the two of them would often travel for business, and it would be just the two of them. So it was like city business, but he's getting paid overtime on these trips, and they're in the hotel room. They're they're not no good.
Right. And if I was his wife, I'd have a fucking one eye on this mayor. I'll tell you right now. Just the two of you going overnight. Okay. Okay.
And they're they're hooking up on these
course.
trips, and the trips were like Greece, France.
What?
They're going to Europe. They're going to Washington. They're going all over the place.
They're saving on hotel rooms though.
But are they like? Did they at least cover up and get 2 rooms? I mean, let's not be so obvious.
Yeah, I think so. But so they have to bring in an auditor to go through all of that to see what was going on.
Yeah.
To really estimate how much did this affair really cost the city.
Wow.
So this is taken directly verbatim from News Channel 5 article, which is what the audit alleged. And one, Sergeant Robert Forrest conducted non-metro business-related activities while being paid by Metropolitan Nashville government is substantiated. So they were like, okay, he was getting paid and he was canoodling while he was getting paid. The allegation that Barry and Sergeant Forrest used Metropolitan Nashville government public funds to pay for out-of-town travel whose purpose was exclusively personal is unsubstantiated.
Okay.
So they were legitimate trips, but a lot of times on that trips they're hanging out together when they're supposed to be doing business. And then Barry and Sergeant Forrest guilty pleas do not, because they end up pleading guilty, spoiler, do not comply with the Metropolitan Nashville government employee standards of conduct. So they did not find evidence that any of these trips were for purely personal reasons, but they were still using government time and money, and he's getting paid overtime.
And how can you really differentiate between that time when it's just the two of them? How can you figure, what was on the clock and what wasn't?
And Heavy noted that the Tennessean reported at the time that the two of them went on at least 9 trips together with no other officials, right? And that was like those European trips and all of that. Jeez. So CNN reported that as far as expenditures during the travel time, Forrest spent $33,000 in expenses and earned $50,000 in overtime.
Holy shit.
So he's like writing in overtime pay. You know what I mean? Like maybe just keep your regular.
It's a little too much.
It's not right.
Isn't the pussy enough?
This is on top of his.
Isn't the pussy enough of a fucking payment?
Well,
you gotta get money too.
This is on top of $84,000
a year
salary. He then got $50,000 on top of that, plus spent $33,000 on the trips.
The fucking
plus, the hooking up. So
power. She's so powerful, though. I mean,
the investigation also revealed that personal things were happening. This is how they found out that personal things were happening on company time because, for example, the Daily Mail and some other reports talked about these nude photos that were found on Forrest's phone, and the photos resembled Barry.
No!
And for example, one report noted that there was a purse in the background that was similar in shape and style to what Barry had used on that trip. One pic, you're gonna love this one.
Bro.
The woman was allegedly pulling up her clothes to reveal pantyhose that were pulled up over her vajayjay with no undies on, and so he's got that pic on there.
Is that a hot?
I know,
pic,
but
though?
imagine, because these are, they're both like in their 50s, and she's this well-known mayor, and the police that she knows, like they're looking at these pictures of her.
Oh my god!
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And NBC News reported that the timestamp on those photos
No.
lined up to the separate business trips that they're supposed
Come
to be on.
on.
So there's all this evidence of them being together.
I keep, in my head, I keep seeing pantyhose and like no underwear.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
Why?
Well, she's trying
And,
to
you
be
know,
hot.
I had
don't
a joke
know.
a long time ago
I don't
that
know.
a man should never see his wife or his girlfriend put on fucking pantyhose because you're always
Yes.
like fucking one.
Well, but
You're like
pantyhose
Elaine when
are
Elaine
on.
dances on
Yeah.
Seinfeld and she's like doing this whole thing. That's what it looks like when a woman's on pantyhose. It's a fucking horrific event.
Yes.
And she's like no underwear pulling up the skirt with that thread
Oh,
line.
the
Like,
line
goes up
that
the
goes
middle.
up. That's what I was imagining. The line. I was like, oh no.
Engineer, is that hot? Pantyhose,
Woo!
no underwear pulling up the skirt.
I mean, I guess it depends.
It could be.
It could be. Okay. All right. Wow. No.
Noted.
No. Run right out and get some panties.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh
So,
God.
cut. No.
Yeah.
So now, Barry did comment on these photos. According to News Channel 5, she released a statement. The allegations of photos taken of myself are very troubling and infuriating if true. While I have not seen the photos in question, if
Bitch.
they were of me, they were taken without my knowledge or permission and a complete invasion of my privacy.
Were you blacked
She-
out when you were posing for the
I know.
pictures?
She
still denies
she
her
must
her.
have been mortified.
Of course.
Mortified.
Of course.
So here's the other thing.
Damn.
So there's all
Damn.
of that, like that 60K over
Yeah.
that they have spent. The audit cost the city $100,000.
Oh my God.
You know, like it's that's not right.
No, you're
it's not
right. Tina.
right.
All right, you're right.
So according to the Tennessee Star, the Beacon Center of Tennessee, which publishes a pork report, Pork Store Productions, hi, here we are, reported that she earned Pork of the Year in 2018 because
Hot.
the affair cost the city about $175,000.
Oh my God.
Like with everything.
Oh
Total,
my
yeah.
God.
And the president of the Beacon Center, Justin Owen, had this to say, quote, what matters to us is that Mayor Barry did this on the taxpayer's dime. She used taxpayers' money to pay overtime pay to her bodyguard so she could be with him more often. The mayor of Nashville doesn't need security in Paris, France, or in Greece, but ultimately she used taxpayer money to further her affair, and that is why she pled guilty to felony theft as a result. They should have just met off hours.
And you know, it doesn't.
Meet off hours to get off. How easy is that?
But how does nobody, if she's like got to go to Greece for business, let's say there's
Yes.
Nashville business there, but like
I
I don't know about that.
mean-
But like, you got to have your security. He's right.
He's
Oh,
right.
the head of security in this company. Why?
Why?
Is there a target on it? Like who?
Like nobody, no
Why?
one's. No
if
one's
you got a
asking.
71% rating, no one's coming for you in
I
Nashville.
mean, so another issue that Heavy reported that looked a bit suspect was that Forrest's daughter. Her name was Macy Amos.
Uh-oh.
She was a newly graduated attorney, and she got a job with the city. It was an entry-level job. It was not part of the budget. It was created. No one else was considered for the job, and Mayor Barry gave her the job.
Holy
So
shit.
that doesn't look good.
No.
You know, so it wasn't vetted, it wasn't put out for others, and it feels like nepotism. Like it's not a good
It
look,
is.
you know,
No,
like
it isn't
so. But Heavy did report that the director of the city's law department said he chose to hire Amos. So who knows? But I'm sure Barry was like, "Hey, do me a solid."
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
All right. So the charges. There was one charge, felony theft, and Barry pled guilty to defrauding the city of overtime pay,
Oh, damn
as
it.
reported by the Tennessean.
This is so fucked.
Rob Forrest pled guilty to the same charge. As part of the agreement, Barry had to resign. So the Tennessean reported that right after she gave her plea, she went straight to City Hall to announce her resignation. And here's what she had to say, and this is as reported by the Tennessean. Quote, while my time as mayor today concludes, my unwavering love and sincere affection for this wonderful city and its great people will never come to an end. No one is as excited about this city and its bright and limitless future as I am. It has been my honor and it has been the privilege of my entire professional life to have the blessing and the opportunity to be your mayor. I thank you in advance for the support that I am sure you will give Mayor Briley in the weeks and the months ahead. God bless this wonderful city. I love you, Nashville. So while she wasn't,
fucked.
you know, she wasn't planning on resigning, but that was part of the plea agreement. And of course, Forrest had resigned way earlier. As soon as he like admitted to the affair, he like retired in good standing because he retired before the fraud and all that stuff came out. So he retired, and he'd served as a police officer for 31 years.
Wow.
Half of those years he served as the head of the mayoral security. You know, his whole career, he ends. So sentencing, according to Fox 17, Barry was sentenced to 3 years probation, as did Forrest. Barry had to pay back the city $11,000 for unlawful expenditures, and Forrest had to pay back the city $45,000 for overtime pay and getting paid when he wasn't really working. The aftermath, Vice Mayor David Briley was sworn in as mayor. As part of her plea agreement, the Tennessean reported, I thought this was interesting, that her criminal record would be expunged after her probationary period. So essentially, when those 3 years were up, the case is completely deleted from court records as if it never happened. So she got a good deal, you know, like that record is gone, like that's it. WKRN reported that Rob Forrest will not get his full pension as a result of his plea deal. He admitted to taking that money, and so they decided they're like, you know, you'll get your pension, your annual pension, but it'll be docked by $11,000 each year. And then Fox 17 reported that Barry ended up earning a teaching position at Fisk University, and she is teaching a Women in Politics course. And at the time that was announced, alumni were planning to protest her appointment because...
Get the fuck out of here.
So, some points of interest.
Yes.
Megan Barry and her husband worked through the affair. They end up rebuilding their life together.
Aww.
But Forrest's wife did file for divorce as soon as she learned of the affair, and that was sort of done.
Aww, sad.
Like I said earlier, this happened during the Me Too movement, and Barry did not want her situation mixed up with that because she said, we were two consenting adults.
Yes.
Like, this is,
Come on.
you know...
Come on.
So this next part is really sad and terrible and tragic.
No.
So months prior to the affair being exposed, in July 2017, Barry's son, her only son with her husband Max, died from an opioid overdose at just 22 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So she has, and I was like, I can't imagine the stress she was under. Like in July, her son dies, and then in January, 6 months later, this affair is exposed, her career, like
oh my
gosh. I can't, like, I feel like most people would crumble, like this 2-year affair is exposed. And the other thing with the opioid, like this just really brought to light that like anybody's child can be impacted by this.
Yes.
And it brought up so much fear for me that, you know, I know that our children are little, but they're going to go off to college one day. Because she had said, like, he went off to college, he came back with, like, you know, Xanax pills, and like, boom, he had this addiction, you know, and they put him in rehab. They did all that they could do, sad. You know, it's terrible. So, but she's turning that tragedy and her former public status to bring awareness to the opioid epidemic, which I thought was really great.
Yes.
And she did something bad, right? Like, to me, the affair is like, that's personal. It's not business. The money issue, definitely wrong. Like, they made a big mistake. And she could hang her head, she could hide away, but instead she's still trying to do something good in her city. And she's been part of a documentary about opioid use and the stigma attached to it, again, as a way to bring awareness. She was interviewed in the Tennessee Lookout, where she talked about how the pandemic has made the opioid crisis even worse, and that the 2020 deaths from January to September of that year were already well over the number from all of 2019, the prior year.
Holy cow.
Yeah. She talked about this work as being a way to serve the community in a new way, because she really wants to serve people.
Yeah.
They have an organization called the Max Barry, that was her son, Travel Fund, and it's for kids who are working with the Oasis Center, and that is a youth crisis intervention center. And I guess her son loved to travel, so if those kids like want to travel and they don't have the money to do so, they like can apply, and they have to be part of that center, and then they can use the funds to travel. This part's going to make me cry. I'm going to try very hard not to cry. So, I can't even read it. It's so sad. All right, I know I'm tired and...
I know.
Okay, I'm going to do it. All right, she talked about being a grieving parent. This part's so sad. She said it makes her day to hear her son's name come out of someone's mouth. And she said, moments of joy come from remembering my child and having someone else remember him too. Because she talked about how, like, when people lose their children, like, no one talks about them anymore. And, like, and she's like, I just want to hear someone say his name. I was like, I love this lady, even though she did this bad thing. And then,
Tina.
Finally, she gave a TED Talk about her worst day.
Ooh.
And I thought it was pretty inspiring, right? We cover all these mucky people, and rarely do any of them ever own up to it or try to make amends. And she is being so open about, like, what her mistakes are and what she did wrong. And she talks about how she gave this TED Talk, and she talked about, like, she just wanted to run away. And she says, quote, I was running. I was shedding my labels. I was no longer the mayor. I was no longer a mom. I was barely a wife. I was just Megan. And I didn't even know what that meant anymore. And then she like redefined things in her life. She ends up finding herself, accepting it all.
Yes.
And she's just been candid and open about bringing awareness to this thing. And I was like, wow, way to take a hot mess of a thing in a year of your life and really like not let it break you and finding a way to still do something good.
Incredible.
So that's the story of Mayor Megan
Tina.
Barry.
Oh my god.
And I was not expecting to find this whole other thing. Like as I was like, I found like the affair first, and then I was like, oh my god, she's doing all this other stuff, and
yeah, she's amazing.
yeah, it's pretty.
Maybe
wild.
she'd want to come on the podcast and talk about Max Barry Travel Fund.
Oh my god.
Let's have her on.
It's a crisis that our electeds do need to handle in this country.
Yeah.
So.
It's a huge problem.
Ooh, that would be good.
That was amazing.
All right, that's my story.
What a
I know. I was
fucking
gonna
roller
cry.
coaster.
I know. What a story.
I know. You know what I wanted to mention, because I don't think I think it happened before the last episode, is that we got a message on our Facebook from someone. I don't want to give his name right now. I'm not going to give his name.
Yes. It happened right when we finished recording or something. Yes,
that's right. And he's somebody who worked in the Michigan House for, I'm not going to say which party, but it's he was going down a road of like listening to, or Googling things about this affair that he had been involved in, and it was Todd Corser and Sydney Garrett.
A Hillary story
in the Michigan
with the
House.
feet. That's the feet on the dashboard.
Yes. So the story about these two who met there and they had an affair.
Yes.
They were both House members of the They were Tea Party members.
Yes.
They went in on a Tea Party wave, and the person who contacted us worked for one of these two. And he was like, "Holy shit! This was. I loved listening to you guys cover the story. He's like, I was involved," and he said, "And what the public knows is the tip of the iceberg." And I was like, "Oh my god!" Of course, Tina's like immediate, like, "Can he come on and tell us the rest?" He went on and on, and he sent a couple of really great messages, and I did invite him to come on the podcast whenever. And he's like, maybe, I don't know. It's been a while.
We'll follow up.
He's like, I don't think I could be sued right now at this point because it's been so long, but. There's, when we make the podcast, like even this, if this woman Googles her name, she's going to find the podcast and she's going to hear you start to cry when you talk about her son and probably send us a message. Like, it's so funny how if it's current people, we're always going to hear something.
Yeah. And we've heard from a few people recently, which has been really wonderful.
Oh my God. I love it.
Really, really wonderful.
So
that's our show.
Oh my God.
That's our show, YouTube.
Yeah, and also that camera's still rolling.
Hi.
Bitch. We're not paper ham bitches over
Woo!
here, I'll tell you what. We are not.
We know what we're doing. We're experts.
Diamond hand.
Oh, I better not say that because maybe there'll be a snafu when I try to upload this.
Let's
Okay.
stop. And I stand by what I said at the end of the last episode. If you're on YouTube and you're not down, please do me a favor.
Yeah, you gotta do both.
Subscribe to the fucking podcast.
You gotta do both.
Download the regular audio so we can get that download number.
Help us out already.
I get it. I get why you want to go onto the YouTube.
Ooh,
Like,
hey,
I understand.
look at this.
I understand.
Ooh.
Milkshakes brings all the boys to YouTube. Please let's stop the video.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.